Family Leonardo, me Nasila did on multimedia, the CEO voice of Salon. Today I come for talk to now, my family, make una continue to subscribe to our YouTube channel and share to our friends them. As we always try to bring on the latest news what they happen around Salon, whether it be politics or any other news them, what they happen or gossip, what they bring out to una live and direct. So please, my family, don't forget to subscribe and share to our friends them. You wanna touch the bell icon so that you no miss any video we will try for bring out to una. So that's also we want make una don't forget also for subscribe to we TikTok channel on TikTok and also on Facebook or Facebook page or the Voice of Salon or also the on Instagram Voice of Salon, please family. And don't forget to share. Okay, thank you now. Tata.
Good morning, my Sierra Leonean friends and family. This is the Master Dream Builder. This is Reggie Cole. Today is the 4th of October, 2025. It's a Saturday. Busy day yesterday. We thank God for all of that. But I'm talking to you today about how we build and change Sierra Leone. Right now, these two parties and the players within them, I don't tell them time without number, they're not the name of the party na matter. It's the quality of the people within the organization, not to APC, na go change Salon, or SLPP, na go change Salon. If now rotten players they wanna get on the field, then our rotten outcomes now get on they get. We talk about Chelsea and Manchester City. In the 90s, then club didn't nominate anywhere. Nobody know to talk about themselves. In fact, Chelsea was looked just like a place where you just go for good gig. I used to work with a boy that was a Chelsea season ticket holder, in those years. Now, Chelsea come, they win because, Manchester City come, they win because of what? Then change the players. And the problem on against Sierra Leone, even the one that were abroad, are aligned to think on tribal lines rather than the best players. That's a problem number one. But this week, they can't deal with a model country where if we follow their model, I remember I'm in there from 3 or so. Okay. My daddy give me one model. Say, Reggie, you just follow this model. I mean, then me bedroom. He said, you just follow this model of studying and see what will happen to you. Certain subjects, they'll say you might be struggling in a minute. He was right. So Mr. the present toner, as a father of the nation, follow this model where they can go through all this week with by God in power, Then when I go see how Salon go change. But I already get the blueprint in my duffel bag, as you know, for the $100 billion GDP plan. If you want to see change in Salon, it's nothing less than $100 billion GDP. For the real change come to you, the Erimina Masingbi, to you, the Erimina Matutuka. For the real change come to your own life. If we don't get to $100 billion GDP, nothing will change for you, I'm afraid. You can't go through another 64 years of the same, more of the same. So in a few moments, I can play this clip for 8 minutes. Another cut time because when I don't talk done, Miami go come. Okay? So this clip, it explains the origin of Temasek Holdings in Singapore. Before I play, I'm reminding us, Singapore was poorer than Sierra Leone, where we get independence. I remind us, Singapore was less populated than Sierra Leone. I remind us, Singapore no get no resources except for human capital. None. Zero. No gold, no diamond. But now listen to waiting. I done the talk for nearly a year to Una about the only way to grow Sierra Leone's economy is this way. And there's nothing else. Anybody will tell you any different, they're liars. Just the same way they don't lie for 64 years. There is no other way. This is the only way or go to hell. That's the chances that you have. Yesterday, are they in between meetings? One lady, I don't tell her, say, don't work with the Queen, don't work in our house. She called me crying after a year, gave me a message yesterday. It said, you go implement this plan. It was sad. But she's really, because you see now, it don't count to the end of in work life. And he said, but there is no home to go to. What about my health? I want you, the listener, where they are abroad, to be thinking about these things when you listen to my audios. Now let's play this thing. Let's go.
One of the tragic illusions that many countries of the third world entertain is the notion that politicians and civil servants can successfully perform entrepreneurial functions. Clearly, the Singapore government agreed, deeming it best to separate the managing of businesses from its regulatory and policy-making functions. This conviction is depicted in the form of an old ledger. At first glance, it appears ordinary, a simple record of bygone businesses. Yet it holds immense significance. This is more than a document. It's a testament to vision, resilience, a silent witness to a history in the making.
Temasek is a company rooted in Singapore, that has evolved over 5 decades, growing from a holding company to a regional and global investor, delivering sustainable returns over the long term. It is always investing with tomorrow in mind, so every generation prospers.
Temasek commemorates its 50th anniversary this year, standing tall as one of the world's leading investment companies. With a net portfolio valued at 389 billion Singapore dollars, its footprint spans the globe, with 13 offices across 9 countries worldwide, from New York to Beijing, London to Mumbai. But this global investment powerhouse was born from humble beginnings. Temasek was founded in 1974 to take over and manage state-owned companies previously under the Ministry of Finance. Singapore's economy was thriving, with double-digit growth in real GDP from 1966 to 1973, one of the highest rates in the developing world. The unemployment rate dropped from 8.9% to 4.5%, improving jobs, pay, and quality of life for Singaporeans.
From mangrove to metropolis has been the man-made story of Singapore.
But this was against the backdrop of the 1973 global energy crisis. The Ministry of Finance had to focus on tackling inflation and to manage fiscal policies. On top of that, the Ministry of Finance also had to manage an expanding stable of companies that was set up then to create jobs and promote growth.
The companies themselves started off in the early years of our independence. The government had to go in and start many companies because otherwise there was nobody who was doing that. We created the shipyards when the British left, Keppel and Sembawang. We had Malaysia-Singapore Airlines when we were inside Malaysia. After we split from Malaysia, after some time the airline also split up and then we formed SIA. DBS was actually started off a financing piece of EDB, and then that grew and it split off, it became a bank. So in the early years, the line between being a company and being the government was not quite so sharp as now.
The Singapore government in those early days had a number of companies which they had set up themselves, plus the assets which they had turned into commercial operations. And after a few years of operations, the government recognized that there is an inherent conflict between operating companies and being policy maker and a regulator. And so in 1974, the government decided to put all these companies under a holding company, Temasek Holdings.
The decision to set up Temasek may seem logical and practical, but its concept was groundbreaking. Singapore was boldly separating government policy making from running businesses. The government understood that Temasek needed to operate as an independent commercial entity to effectively manage its portfolio.
So obviously at the beginning in 1974, Temasek was an inheritor of companies that were built by the Singapore government. And most of these companies were built by either the Economic Development Board or the Ministry of Finance in the context of industrializing Singapore in the context of catalyzing industries in Singapore and also providing good job opportunities for Singaporeans.
The wisdom of the government in those days is that by transferring all these assets in Temasek's hand, it means that it, as government, would not interfere with the operations of Temasek as an investment company, with mixing it with, say, macro or even political interests.
Naming the new company was quick. 4 names were suggested: Colossal, Merlion, Solar, and Temasek. Then Finance Minister Hon Swee Sen taked Temasek. Derived from the Malay word tasik, meaning body of water, and the Javanese tumasek, signifying sea town. On 25th of June 1974, Temasek Holdings Private Limited was incorporated under the Singapore Companies Act. The line separating governance and business management was drawn. 35 companies worth 354 million Singapore dollars were now in Temasek's hands, and its portfolio was set to expand as the government fueled Singapore's growth. But what was Temasek's role in the early years?
At the time, well, we were just an investment holding company. We had to make sure that our role is clearly in a sense of governance, to make sure that the companies are well managed by themselves and by their own board of directors, so that the value will grow. Because if they don't do well, if we neglect our role as a shareholder, then I think we will be not doing justice to the assets.
Temasek has never interfered into the operations and business of its portfolio. And I think that mantra exists till today.
At the mouth of the Singapore River, you'll find the iconic Fullerton Hotel. But back in the 1970s, this building had a different vibe. It housed the bustling General Post Office along with the offices for the Ministry of Finance and related departments. To locate Temasek Holdings, you had to trek all the way up to the attic.
When we started Temasek in 1974, the Fullerton building is not quite like the super-duper 6-star Fullerton Hotel that you find there now. The lift would creak their way up and down. We used to take wagers, which one will come down first.
In its early years, Temasek's primary function was more about data collation than analysis. Staff were busy managing accounts, recording dividends, and handling procedural tasks like processing instruction letters and share transactions.
It was in the Ministry of Finance itself, just myself and 1 or 2 other officials. We were not full-time Temasek people, we were full-time government officials, the Ministry of Finance, and we took on this additional assignment of starting Temasek and nurturing it. Just 3 or 4 people doing the work for Temasek part-time. It was very low-key.
3 or 4 people doing the work of Temasek part-time. You see, when you know what you're doing, you don't need thousands of people. 3 or 4 people started this miracle. Groundbreaking invention, right? First in the world of its kind. Then decided, no, we're not going to run them the British way. Which you don't understand is back in the day, Britain had companies, state-owned companies, where they run by government officials. Now minister they hire and fire CEOs. No, that plan they're not woke, because that is always politically based. This is why I'm saying this is the only plan that's going to save Sierra Leone. This is not the only plan we're going to save Sierra Leone. What we all agree, see, we separate the commercial entity where we need for generates the wealth that God don't give we already. We've got the wealth. Hey, can you imagine a situation where you get $5 billion Sierra Leone Commercial Bank? But you sit on a mile 91, they complain, say you don't get money. That's how this situation look to me. We get the wealth. God don't give we already. We get her. A day, God don't give in at the bank of Sierra Leone already, bank as in heavenly bank, not to the way empty. It don't give we. All we need to do now for listen and learn. When Dexter Yeagerman, they teach me, he used to say, listen and earn. Listen and earn. All we need to do is listen and learn to earn. We have everything. You know, one of the person that really articulates that they very, very much the Lioness of the North. We don't can tell now over and over. Which they say about 44 minerals. Predictable weather, arable land, fertile soil, the Atlantic Ocean and all its blue economy that's underneath that ocean, natural harbor, 7 riverways. Another begin name the diamonds, the lithium, you know this thing by now if you don't listen to me for a while. We get our all. Now, if we just organize our normal in this manner and we're up and running, and in no time, you will feel the changes in your pocket and in your life if we do this. Singapore, in 1961, they were poorer than Sierra Leone. They get less people than a country than Sierra Leone. Okay? They not get any resource apart from the human resource. They don't get no other resource. In 1965, they wouldn't get independence. They struggled for survival. Then join with Malaysia. Malaysia kicked them out. Then when they kick them out, then get a problem with nationalities. Now 3 nationalities. We're not talk about tribalism first. Then 3 nationalities. So you get the Indian there. Inside the Indian there, you get the this, the that. You get the Chinese, you get the this, the that. You get the Ebo. The man made a decision. Today, Singapore, the economy, nearly $600 billion worth of GDP. You hear me clearly? Nearly $600 billion worth of GDP per year. Each person in Singapore is worth $126,000 GDP per capita. Temasek Holding, where there is nearly $500 billion under management. Yes? Offices across 13 countries in the world, including New York to Beijing. And Salon, what you with our economy in real terms is still a $4 billion economy. Forget that rebasing. That's just crap. And the minister we go talk about last year, you know, saying a crap in the talk. So Salon, $4 billion economy. GDP per person is $430. We still depend on donor funds to even conduct something as intricate, as sovereign as our elections. How can a nation that borrows to vote call itself independent? It's hypocritical. Next April 27th, by God in power, we'll go see that date. We go mark 65 years since independence. Yet we still beg from the same hands who enslaved us and colonized us. We still beg from them. That, my friends, is not independence. That is rented sovereignty. The lesson from Singapore, the secret is simple. Singapore realized earlier on that politicians and civil servants cannot run businesses. You cannot tell me that Shaka Stevens was a business person. Nor can you tell me that Abdul Kagbo is a business person. Yes, you can go make the laws, but you don't know your balance sheet from your toilet sheet. So how can you interfere in their affairs in negotiating deals on behalf of Sierra Leone? You don't have the mental capacity for this stuff. They built Singapore, so what you then do, they separate government from enterprise. They separate government from enterprise, but they still keep public ownership, which is exactly what they promoting. The Ministry of Finance owns 100% of the shares, but they do not have control how that company they run. No. All they will need for do is, this is what we expect. These are the KPIs. Bring the baby home. That's it. You understand me? They didn't privatize. They professionalized in Singapore. They did not sell. They structured. They did not bow to IMF loans. They built their own capital. They use foreign finance only as a tool to invest, but not as a master to control our revenue and control the direction of travel of their company. That's exactly waiting again at my duffel bag, and that's exactly what Sierra Leone must do now. If you say you're serious about Sierra Leone and you don't focus on the economy, they talk about APC, SLPP no more, you're not ready or you don't understand the problem. Because if you not fix the economy, as that James, whatever guy said to Bill Clinton in campaign in 1992 or whatever, it's the economy, stupid. You say something in a house, house. If money no the husband and wife they fed. You know see that they love they're gonna do for us. That's how it be. Until we fix salon economy, all this APC, SLPP nonsense one at the part, it's nonsense. It's absolute crap. Me get you call the telling like this. I have no fear of you. I am not scared of you. So here is how we reclaim the new ownership order. Privatization is abolished forever. The biggest scam in the world. No national asset will ever again be sold to private hands. Sierra Leone Holdings Limited will be created, our own Temasek style company. 100% owned by that girl in that Bondo Bush. 100% owned by that boy in that Poro. 100% owned by that peculiar dance hunting. And then get them. By virtue of being born in that country, that then get ownership of them things and they. Not so Jamil Sahid Mohammed or Giral Holdings or Koidu Holdings. No. God put them in there for them. And they should benefit, not be on kush and blackout and no hospitals. Private money can lend, yes. By all means, bring you private money. But it will be the same way, like the same commercial terms. When you start a company, when you go get private money come into your business, then they can't say we'll take ownership. No, we do a debt structure deal. We do a debt agreement. We put your percentage of return. We put the caveat there for failing to pay. And off we go. Why must it be different to Sierra Leone? Why people in the can't dictate? Because you know why? Because una brothers them. Yes, now the APC, SLPP, then they give them the nice backhand that way they want. Then they sell now like how they sell with people then doing slavery. They're still doing it today. It's a curse of Sierra Leone. No minister or politician will sit on this commercial board. Okay? Government will make the policies, but Sierra Leone Holdings will make the profit for Sierra Leone. That is not socialism, it's prosperism, where the people own production and government ensures fairness. We're going to rebuild energy and power, agriculture and food processing, minerals and metals, transports and logistics, tourism and real estate, digital and finance. We'll prosper the people's balance sheet. When we own, we earn. The profit from every port, every mine, every power station, they use them for fund schools, first-class hospitals, and roads. Foreign lenders become partners, not masters. No IMF, no World Bank. Take it from me, they're not needed. Inflation falls as production rises. Okay? The strength of your currency grows as you back it with your gold reserve, as we don't see in Ghana. You call not the town that things the way people not do before. It just be say, as I be for collect the series of ideas, we're going to make a nice pepper soup for now in terms of economy. Okay? Jobs will appear because value stays home. Hope returns because wealth is circulating among Sierra Leoneans. This is what we call economic independence. And until you're economically independent, you're never independent. You're lying to yourself. You're using a word. You're misrepresenting your fortunes. Right. Why IMF, World Bank, and donor funds will never build us? For 65 years, they've sent in experts, not engineers. Reports, not factories. Aid, not ownership. Then they lend we money to buy their own machines. Then charge us interest to keep us weak. That's not help. That's control. That's owning you, lock, stock, and 2 smoking barrels. Singapore refused for use it. Singapore refused for use that model. I am telling you, inside my duffel bag, they not even get a discussion point. It's not even allowed. You don't abuse 8 million lives for too long. Then now you know one day now your country. Yes? Because una follow waiting John Parkins tell we una say una want third world strategies. Una country now don't begin to on third world. Then now una don't want the people them who say una they go rip una money. Una don't want them now una country. Ebo Kamombo. Then you, Mr. Preacher Man, they can't tell me say God made us all equal. Who's God you to talk to? Who's God you to talk to? Because but I'll keep going. So what the $100 billion GDP plan in my duffel bag would do? Will create power generation. That KKY nonsense about 15 years. KKY not get 15 days. You say 15 years. 15 years. So you look at it. Lord have mercy. Say on the 84 independence. And answer on the again.